Hi everybody, welcome to the Tomb of Illumination. This is just a quick random video while I had some clean clothes on. I thought I would just raise a few topics. Recommend a couple of videos for you guys who are interested in the spiritual nature of our existence and the association with the flat earth. You won't get to understand the association with the flat earth system, but that's my job to expand on that later. But I'm just suggesting a couple of videos you could watch because they're saying the right things. It's not often they say the right things, but there are quite a few that do. They say the right things, but they don't understand the true meaning of what they're saying. But as long as you understand what they're saying, I can expand on that and associate it to the actual event. Okay? So I'll just go to library. So there's one here.
When you learn Chassidus, when you learn Jewish mysticism, you learn.
It's what's it called here? Jewish Learning Institute. Bring the movie back up, and it's called The 5 Secret Levels of Your Soul. He speaks quite well on the whole subject, does a really good job, got the right words, all that sort of stuff, unlike me. So I'll put the link up in the video when I post it, and in there you'll notice he says everything starts with the soul, and he's right. We're all born with the soul, but as a newborn baby has the soul, but it dies off, just like the umbilical cord. Once it's cut, it withers away. His soul will wither back down and settle back down at his sacrum region, and it's up to him as he goes through life to raise that back up. That's getting back home again. The whole story of enlightenment, it's your golden life, in a spiritual sense. And so when this man says that it begins at the soul, that is the main event, because that's the whole creation story. When you've raised your Christ, you have to raise the Christ. You have to go through me to get to the Father. So you've got to raise your own Christ to get to understand the Father and to connect with the all superior being up there. All the information, everything. So that's the beginning. Once you've done it, it's your creation story. That's the whole creation story in all religions. And it is parallel with the one-off event with Earth. But that, like I say, that's a one-off event. And your event is one-off, but there's many events because everybody has to go through it. But they're all different. There's only a selected few that become the kings, and it's preordained. I think that's in the system already. And realize the sprites. Without sprites, there's no life on Earth. That is bringing new life into Earth. Sprites. Not sprites. Meteor showers. Okay? Meteorites are just solidified fine particles of minerals that have been ionized in the atmosphere and then will fly back down to Earth. So if you've got some, you tend to probably get some not long after volcanoes, So watch that video, I'll put it up. And he mentions the something which I'm going to expand on later, which is he talks about the 5, these Jewish people, they do a lot of worshipping, like they pray 3 times a day during the week, and in the holidays and weekends, I think they pray 4 times, but they pray 5 times only once a year. So that 5 times is associated with the 5 holy days that are given to us in the year to create this 365 days a year as opposed to 360 on a circle. But once again, they don't know what it's associated with. They've got all their bloody their own ideas and all that. It really warps information. Nothing to do with what it really means. So I'm going to delve into that. But this is all on my Patreon page, okay? I'm going to be doing the expanding on all this information on Patreon page, sorry to say. So I'm just letting you people know out there. That's where you want to go. It's only $3.50 American a month. You can't moan at that. I mean, what's a coffee? You know, how many coffees do you have a week? And what do you even pay for data per month on your phone? What is $3.50? Nothing. And this is stuff, information you're going to really appreciate, but you're never going to hear it anywhere else. Okay? Something else he talks about is the canopy over the married couple. The Jewish couples, when they get married, it's called a chuppah. It's like an arch or whatever. Remember back in the day we used to see it quite often when the couples got married, and it's all what that symbolises is what I'm going to tell you. It's most divine. And he also talks about their what all their beliefs represent, which is the divine event. It all goes back to creation. It's all associated with the creation, what we do down here. Excuse me. And he talks about the unification of man and woman as they get married, because the divine event is the supreme, the most divine reunification of male and female. I've hinted a bit on that in previous videos, but I'll get more into that later. So this chuppah are really interesting. That's the really big story I'm going to be putting on my Patreon page when I get 100 subscribers. Okay, 100 signed up. So and the other video is this was awesome. I don't know how he knows this stuff. That's what I'd like to know. Is he from a Freemason family? Who guided him? Because the information he knows, you know, the average guy hasn't got access to it or wouldn't pick up on it. So I'd like to know where that, and he's obviously, he'll be financed. So I'm thinking he's from a Freemason family and that. But listening to him, he is very knowledgeable. And this one really hits the nail on the head. Where's my... Go back into library, Lindsay. This one here. A lot of you might have been following this guy because he's popped up a few times on my site. Someone might have recommended him. But Robert Edward. And his video is Raise Your Frequency in 1.26 minutes. Precise temperament tuning. He's on the ball. He's saying exactly, it's real. He's telling the truth. You know, I've touched on a bit of geometry and mathematical geometry in a video recently, but I haven't really expanded on that yet. But there's a lot of guys that are quite knowledgeable on that, where you get the one, you know, the what is it, the, you know, 432 to start with he's talking about in here. And you've got the 144,000 that's associated with the Plato's geometrical solids. It's all associated with that. The shapes, it's all connected with maths and music, sound, frequency, because our whole realm is all based on frequency, sound, okay? And it touches on Leonardo da Vinci and, you know, the secrets within there. Funny how he writes backwards, but then when he puts his little codes in there, they're actually written the right way. So this is one thing I need to get on. I haven't got into Leonardo da Vinci yet. I was waiting for my mother to finish her book, so I'd grab her book. But I'll probably end up getting my own information. Because all this divine knowledge is all written in all this ancient text, esoteric form though. You've got to have this spiritual insight to understand it all. This is what I try to do, break it down in my videos. So raise your frequency. Okay, so I'll put that link up too. Okay. It's all I had with the phone there, I think. Now I've just been going through some old videos that I took down a long time ago and just posting a few at the moment, putting a few back up. And man, I'm surprised with what I knew way back then, within a year of investigating the flat earth system. So I'm going to put up a little series of all these, it's just what I've written on the whiteboard. There's about 7 whiteboards full of all this information that just came to me within a year. And it's true today. It's all come about from what I know now. I know the whole system. So I'll put that up soon. And a couple of other old videos. And there was one right at the very beginning where I started off at the moon and had worked out all these figures, because the moon controls the cycles of time, not the sun. The sun just goes around every day like this, reflecting itself out across the black hole. As it moves around the black hole, it shines across the black hole. That's all it does. And even in some mythological story that speaks of the god, or they don't call it God or the sun, it's another name, Greek or one of those old myths. I think it's something to do with Persephone and that. Speaking of how he's so boring, how they're boring because he's just doing circles. But the moon does more than that. It goes around like this, but also winds out and winds back in. And anyway, I need to find that video, but there was another one that had a few numbers on it, and I pulled this out of it. And I remember doing this, and I looked high and low into the internet to find out whether they knew how fast the moon was moving, how many degrees per hour. It was not there, no matter how hard I looked. It was not there, but now I punched it in today, because I dug this out. There it is. Basically saying what I put on my whiteboard 3 or 4 years ago. So someone could prove me wrong, but I'm pretty sure they've only put it up since this. So this is what I did, you see. So I was studying the moon. So was the only guy that came out and started saying, no, they're all going in the one direction. It's just that the sun is quicker. Nobody's speaking about that. No one talks about that. To understand the flat earth system, you have to know that the sun is the quickest celestial body. Because at the centre, it's the first celestial body on the horizon of the black hole where the energy comes out of the hyperboloid. So the bulk energy is right there. It becomes weaker as it comes out from the horizon of the black hole. Okay? So I knew that the moon was lacking behind the moon. The moon was lacking behind the sun 52 minutes per day. So I went, okay, times it by this many days, came to this in minutes, divided by this to give you the hours, 316. For some reason it's that in stainless steel, 316 and another one, 3 something, can't remember. I wonder if there's something to do with, Anyway, there's the hours, divided by days, 24 days, came to 13.18 days. So 360 degrees circle, pancake of flat earth, divided by that, gives you this. That is a sidereal month. The moon's cycle in a sidereal month. The moon moves 13.18 degrees per hour. I figured this out. It was not online. Now you go online, they're pretty well saying this, but this was nowhere to be found. Prove me wrong. Someone come up with some evidence that it was undocumented. It was documented. Okay, so I thought that was interesting. But I have to find this other video I had, because I had numbers galore. It worked just through the moon cycles. I'd figured out the 2,594 days of the great year, and it had the figure of 2,160 for the constellations. It had the 432. It had and the 138 point something. Forget what that was, but that was connected to the pyramid somehow. Can't remember. Anyway, I'll try and find that one day. What else? I had some other information. A couple of things here from the old videos I had was one was regarding the Wizard of Oz, the movie, right? So I don't believe that guy who wrote that theme apparently. No, I don't believe that. I think that's ancient knowledge, because he's got the whole video down packed of this grand divine event. And you can only know all that stuff, man, if you can understand all this esoteric ancient text. And who the hell would have holograms on their mind in 1939? Well, you can think like that, or you can go back and watch some of these Tataria videos of all the beautiful monuments and buildings back in early 1900 or before, just before, that all got wiped out. So, you know, we've got amnesia, we've been rebooted somehow, and it's all been hidden from us now. But in the Wizard of Oz, you've got heaps of information there. The crystal palace in the centre of the Arctic with the stars in it, the yellow brick road there, which represents the sun. I'll expand on all this later, but anyway, finding a way home again. This is what we need to do in our life. Find our way back to singularity. Upside down face. Oh, I've got to show you this. So if you haven't seen my flat earth system, you might want to go back and have a look at it. But watch this. There's his tongue. The upside down face. There, that's our connection to the flat earth, one of them. I mean, we're obviously from the earth, and there's a tight connection with the brain, with the flat earth system. Look, 2 hemispheres. Break it down, 2 hemispheres. Look at the human face. The 2 star rotations. The central vortex, the sky rotations, there's 2 of them. You can break this down to this area here where the two rotations are here. You've got this, central vortex here for the nose, and you've got the mouth. Why's the mouth there? Because the sound comes out of the black hole, which is down here, in the vortex, the centre of the vortex, down the gurgler. Sound comes out, sound comes up. Bang, hits the right frequency, you get a sun right on the horizon of the black hole, the vortex. Sound. Now, how's the tongue related to that? Tongue. I'm just waggling the tongue to make the sound. Moving of that, moving the tongue. There's your eyes. You've got your third eye back here. How does that work? You get your rotation, the vortex. Well, it's basically creation, isn't it? Comes from there. Creation starts from the hyperboloid centre, 0 point, creates the toroidal field. Okay, there's creation, your pineal gland, right there. Interesting, eh? Search out the matter. In the Book of Solomon, or one of those to do with Solomon, I should look that phrase up. It's about the it's up to the king to search out the matter of how all this works. And then then you come to the heart of the matter. You've heard the saying, the heart of the matter. So you go this northern hemisphere, there's the tropics, and there's the southern hemisphere. You draw the human body. It's long out here, got long legs. There's the body, and there's his head. Head was in here. This is supposed to be smaller. So you go, that's the head, and there's the body. Remember, we're in a torus field, so it starts very small in the centre here, and then expands outward. So that's basically where the head region is. And those are the legs. It's associated with the human body. You've got the sacrum here, which is Saturn, sacrum. It's not spelled right, I know, but sacrum. Heart of the matter, his heart. Look, the sun wanders around this region, right? This region here, the heart of the matter. Got the heart there. And of course the pineal gland, the brain, centre of the brain is centre of the north. And what do you get? What do you get all the way from here up and around like that? The sun and a lemma. That's the centre north. That's the south. Same thing. That's the neck. The divine place of creation. The 5 holy days. We'll get right into that with the Patreon page. Once I get 100 signed up. Now, not Gilgamesh, the Sumerian king. You've seen the monument, big statues of him or reliefs. You've seen his calf muscle. Calf muscle. Another sign for you to show how the sun works. That's the vortex, this big calf muscle. I'm no artist, but you've got the knee. Got his big shoe here. Got a leg like this. You see that image like this? It's showing you the sun. Cast into this is the Milky Way. It's a depiction of it. Trust me. There's messages everywhere. So that's it, guys, for this video. Be watching out for those videos. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of a series of what I discovered in only 1 year. There's 8 parts. I'll put them all up. Just go check them all out one after another and see what I figured out as a carpenter within 1 year of looking into the flat earth system. I didn't go through them all again, but I looked at quite a few of them, and they still stand today. And I was shocked. One of the older videos, I had drawn the Milky Way, right, like this and bulging like that and like this, and drew the sun in here like this. And I must have read something somewhere, and I says, and look, it even looks like a knee joint, doesn't it? So this is like 4 years ago, I think. And it's only in the last year I read the Iliad and the what's the other one, by Homer's Iliad, and in there, because in there is all esoteric knowledge regarding the tropical zone here. A lot of that's going to be put on my Patreon page too. And here, and he described the sun here as the knee joint. I'll be expanding on that. And then also, this is going to freak a lot of people out. I've got a real good video on this. On there. I can't draw a hand. On the Egyptian car. Okay? Just bear in mind, I'll give you a hint. It's 2, it's 3. It's a 2 to 3 ratio right there. Or right from here actually. 3, 2. You've seen my earlier videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm going to get right into that. Where it is, what it's associated with. That's all I have on the top of my mind. So thanks for watching. Give us a likes up and be sure to check out my Patreon page. You want all this information. Thanks guys.